Hey guys, Sleepy Reader 666 here. I just got a book in the mail, hardback from Amazon. I think it's just been released. It's a reprint from Titan Books, I believe. Yep, Titan Comics, uh, of The First Kingdom by Jack Katz, which is kind of I don't know if it's even legendary because I don't know how many people remember it. But at one point, it was kind of legendary, and it was very hard to find. Um, Independently created and published comic book that predates just about everything else in terms of independent comic books. It was this fellow Jack Katz had been a professional comic book artist, I think mostly for smaller companies than DC and Marvel, but he decided to invest his own time and effort into this huge sort of one long giant graphic novel. And this was not really an idea that it probably wasn't called a graphic novel then because Will Eisner hadn't coined the term. But I'm pretty sure this came before Will Eisner. His inspiration was the underground comics, the do-it-yourself stuff of the 60s, but most of that was short little pieces, whereas his idea was this huge epic, and it's kind of a science fiction fantasy thing. It's got this kind of wild, detailed black and white art. It's not, if you think of it in terms of the time when it came out, and I want to say 1973 or something when it started coming out, but I will have to check here if there's some kind of copyright date. Oh, well, that's not useful to me. It's copyright 2013. But let's see. I'm just going to have to get back to you guys on that. I know it was the early 70s, and I think I got a few copies through mail order maybe a little ways down the road because it was kind of this mythical thing even while it was being published. To find it in an era where there were almost no comic book shops was tricky. I think I mail ordered it, after reading about it in the Comic Book Buyer's Guide when I was a young teenager. So I can't even remember a whole lot. It's like this huge, sweeping epic of like a whole race that inhabited, or maybe several whole races that inhabited Earth before humans did. And it's kind of obsessively detailed and maybe almost, in my memory, almost biblical in nature. And of course, I gave away the copies I used to have of this. So I'm really looking forward to rereading it, but since I don't remember much of it. In the 70s, we got just little pockets of independently produced comics and other things, like some anthologies. There was Star Reach comics, and people called them, because there was underground comics and then there was the mainstream comics. People called these, I think they called them like ground level comics. And there were a few others, like Cerebus came along eventually, and then Wendy Pinney's ElfQuest and other things like that. But I think this is kind of the first. Here's some more of the art. Everything looks emotionally kind of intense to me. Everything looks like a struggle. And I understand what he did is they came out in comic books and that were like 50 pages long maybe, and each comic book was called like book 1, book 2, book 3. And he just did 2 books a year. So it was very painstaking and a huge labor of love. So I'm hoping I will like this first volume. I'll get back to you guys and let you know, and hope to get all the volumes in these nice hardbacks. I am disappointed looking at it now to see that they did not recreate the original covers, which were in color. Let's see if there's anything. I don't see anything about the covers. Oh, maybe there that's a little bit of a taste of the covers. Yeah, this is, so it's got a little bit of extra material. Anyhow, if anyone else has some memories or knowledge about the First Kingdom, I'd love to hear it. I guess maybe I'll know a little more when I read the introduction here too. I was just excited because I just got this in the mail. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.